Well, welcome back in once again, everybody, to another informative edition of the 19th Hole Podcast for golfers. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers, and we got a great show for you today. We have a young lady on that is at the top of her game in her profession, and we're going to talk about something. If you've been following me at all for any length of time, you know I love talking about golf course design, golf course architecture, and we have just the perfect guest for you today, so you're in for a treat. Weather here in Vegas is normal. We're in the upper 60s, low 70s, no wind. Great time to get out and play. And we hope wherever you're tuning into us in your part of the country, you got the same, and you could get out and play some golf before Christmas, because Christmas is going to be here before you know it. So take advantage of it. All right, let me tell you a little bit about our special guest, Jan Beljan. Yeah, you heard me right, Jan Beljan. Jan is a noted award-winning golf course architect, elected into the American Society of Golf Course Architects in 1990, and she also serves on the executive board as the treasurer. So she's got all that money she's got to watch over. Jan began her design career with, noted, iconic Tom Fazio, and she held a senior position with him for more than 20 years before starting her own design firm. Links Magazine named Jan as one of the top 10 female golf course architects in 2005 and one of the top 10 most influential women in the game of golf. So that's pretty strong. That's pretty impressive. She has many, many industry affiliations, really too numerous to mention here on the show. She's a much sought after regional and national speaker. And she's very much in demand because of both her personality, her knowledge, and her work speaks for itself. So my pleasure to bring up on camera right now my buddy Jan Beljan. And Jan, thank you so much for coming on the show. I know you're right in the middle of doing some work, so we appreciate you taking a little bit of time out and coming on.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much. This time of the year is particularly busy because I'm in South Florida and a lot of the folks are returning for the season.
Yeah.
So they're looking to have things completed by the end of this year so we can start fresh next year.
Next year.
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of comments? I shouldn't say a lot, a number of comments or inquiries about your name. It is a little bit unusual. Makes you all that more unforgettable.
Well, the most interesting thing to me about it is that people have difficulty pronouncing three letters, Jan, the same way.
Really?
They seem to, yes, they can't manage Jan, Bell, Jan. They get Gun, Jin, Gan. So that's the most remarkable thing to me.
Oh my God! Yeah, we'll just call
Most
you.
interesting when you check into a hotel and ask for your last name and then the first name, so it's Beljan Jan.
Yeah,
And so they get confused.
We'll just call you JJ for short. I think that would work. That would work. Let me start it off and ask you this, Jan. What were the events or circumstances that really drew you into golf course design?
Well, it started as, I suppose, as a child. My father and my 5 uncles were all club professionals, and 3 of them were PGA members.
Uh-huh.
And when my uncles would come to visit us, my dad and especially Carl and Willie would be sitting out on the front porch and talking about the tournaments in which they just played, the golf courses where they had played.
Yeah.
And as a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old, to hear adult men talk so passionately about something struck me as, why were that enthusiastic? Because as an 8-year-old, you don't know what's going on. But when they had that kind of passion, it made a difference. So my father designed and supervised the construction of the golf course where I grew up, 35 miles from Pittsburgh. Go Steelers! And he was then the pro and the superintendent.
Uh-huh.
So when you're taking care of everything, the foresight and the forethought that goes into golf course design is remarkable. Most people don't really have a grasp of what that is,
True.
how much time it takes. And so as I became older and I worked the golf shop, when I was 14, I started working on the golf course, obviously weekends and summers, but I would be mowing greens, tees, and fairways and digging ditches, raking bunkers, all of those. And then that's till noon. And then because we lived on property, I'd change clothes and I'd work the golf shop after that. So I had a pretty well-rounded education, informal education about golf in general, not about golf course design, but how people use the golf course and how they used golf for their own competitive and social interests.
Yep. Yeah, well said. So you were very hands-on, which obviously helped you in the long run, and I think that's very important. Of all the different types of courses, Jan, for example, you have links courses, you have resort-style courses, you've got seaside courses. What's your favorite desert-type courses that we have out here? What's your favorite course style to design, if you have one?
Oh, I really don't have one. I see every one of those geographic and topographic descriptions as different challenges, because it's not just the topography, it's the geology. It's what's underground. You talk about links and seaside, you're talking pretty much sand. You talk about desert, you may think it's sand, but there might be some rock there. And of course, when you talk mountains, you're generally talking rock. And of course, all of those come with different drainage issues or challenges.
Yeah, true. That's very true. Especially here, you're right about the desert courses. It's not just dirt. You run into some rocks, some stuff. Jan, what are some of the key considerations you take into account when you start to design a golf course?
Well, the first one is, what does the client want?
Right.
So if I don't understand what the client wants, it would be the same as if I ask you, you said you wanted me to design a house for you.
Mm-hmm.
What do I know? I don't know what you want, don't know what you need.
Yeah.
And so all of that's the primary. And then of course it's, what are the restrictions? And the restrictions are often the size of the property, the configuration of the property, and probably more importantly, the actual usable acreage. Because usable acreage means something that you can actually use. It means it's not a wetland. It can't be an endangered species protected area.
Right.
So those things have a huge bearing on where you actually even start. So once those things are out of the way, then does the property align itself for a what we might call full-size par 72 golf course? Mm-hmm. Is it something that should be shorter? And then what are the demographics? Who does the client expect to attract? Will it be private? Will it be resort? Will it be pay for play? And then, again, the demographics have a huge bearing on what the kind of course that might be designed. If you're in a low populated area, then you might not be looking to do something as large. But then again, you may be you consider the what the demographic profile is for expenditures on recreation.
Right. Yeah. Very good. And we're going to talk about we're going to talk about that a little bit later too, what you just brought up. But that's all very, very interesting. Anyway, Jan, we're up against a break. We're going to just break for a minute or two. Stay right there. And when we come back, we'll have a lot more with our special guest, Jan Beljan. Stay with us. We are back. I'm Dennis Silvers, host of the 19th Hole Golf Podcast, asking each and every person who plays golf, beginner or seasoned player, what's the most important club in your bag? Chances are you'll get a lot of different answers. There really is only one right answer. And if you guessed your putter, you are 100% correct. Just ask any professional golfer, man or woman who plays on any major tour. I am very excited to announce that Zebra Golf, one of the game's most iconic putter brands, has made a long-awaited return to golf's retail marketplace with the launch of their milled series that feature 4 new putter styles designed to suit even my putting stroke. All putters, like golf clubs, are not created equal. Zebra mill putters are now offered in your choice of 4 awesome models, 2 blades, 1 mallet, and 1 higher MOI Fang design with adjustable weights available to help customize your putter. All come with a mid-size grip for enhanced feel. So if you want the one club that's going to lower your scores, why wait? Go to zebragolf.com and put one in your bag today. The only thing you've got to lose are strokes. Hi, I'm Dennis Silvers, host of the 19th Hole Podcast for golfers. Here to tell you about a product that's improved my game, Poptical sunglasses. Unlike ordinary sunglasses, Popticals are collapsible using a unique rail system that lets you easily store them in their protective case. They offer crystal clear vision, UV protection, and are scratch resistant and water repellent. Made in Italy, they look great on and off the course. Plus, Popticals come with a 2-year warranty, a 30-day return policy, and make the perfect gift for the golfer in your life. Visit Popticals.com for more info. All right, welcome back in, everybody, to a continuation of the 19th Hole Podcast for golfers. We're talking with golf course architect Jan Beljan, and loving it because, you know, I love design, talking about design. Jan, how do you ensure your designs are, number one, sustainable and environmentally friendly?
Well, let's start with the second one first. Environmentally friendly. Many of the things that we must consider, and this has been for as long as I've been doing this work, and before that, is most not just counties but states have regulations, and so those regulations must be met in the design part, and those become part of the restrictions, as I'd mentioned earlier. So if there is a wetland, then you cannot tamper with that wetland, and then there's a buffer around that wetland. So those are things that ensure what we do is environmentally sound, because we're already protecting things. We're protecting it during construction.
Right.
We'll have a silt fence up so there's no drainage in there from that would silt up any of the marsh areas that would then be a prelude to what might be a pond or a lake. So first we have those regulations to follow, and then beyond that, it's talking and generally by the time we start working on the design work, there might be a golf course superintendent on board, and we work with the superintendent as well as far as understanding what's going to be the turf type that will be used. And I suppose among the things that we ask the client is, what do you expect the what you expect the maintenance budget to be. Because if you are going to try to build something that's very big or very detailed and not have the budget, then it doesn't do anybody any favors.
Right.
Doubtless you and your listeners have heard of Frank Lloyd Wright. Well, Frank Lloyd Wright, anybody who's ever been to one of the houses he's designed can see how very complex they are and how very complex they are to maintain. A lot of windows with a lot of corners. That means it takes time. Those are the kinds of things. It's always the details that make the difference.
Right.
So some details could be as far as the sustainability. Sustainability means both economically as well as environmentally. And I think people maybe misjudge or don't think about the economic part, which of course is an annual event. There's a budget.
Yeah.
And so it's working to find out, again, we'll go back to for whom is the golf course meant to be designed? Very high-end play, middle of the road, people who just want to be able to play 9 holes and after work and then go on to their family life. So all of those things have different criteria as far as sustainability goes, but it does have to do with the demographics.
Yeah, definitely, totally, 100%. How do you get feedback, Jan, on your design once the project opens?
As with everything, the initial reactions are generally offered, but then people, as they learn the golf course, then they have different reactions. So it's trying to understand initially how people feel about the overall project. They which holes do they like the most and why do they like them the most?
Uh-huh.
And generally it has to do with, for the more competitive players, they see a golf hole or the entire golf course as presenting them a cerebral challenge.
Yeah.
What do I need to think about? Where do I need, because it's windy today, and the wind's coming out of this direction and not the opposing direction, not the seasonal direction, then how do I play this golf hole? I mishit this shot. Where does that put me for my next shot into the golf hole? And then for others, it's that they immediately find a course or a hole too difficult because it may be they're playing from a set of markers that doesn't really suit their game.
Right. Exactly. And we're going to talk about that very, very soon. Sometimes, Jan, I wonder how a golf course got its particular rating, and I think maybe the course architect should play with the raters to see how they come up with the numbers that they do.
Well, I took, and it's been several years since I did this, and they've recently changed, the USGA has recently changed how the golf courses are rated. But the slope rating, okay, so there's 3 different ratings. There's the course rating, which is how the scratch player would play it.
Right.
Then there's the slope rating, which is the relative difficulty of the course for the players who are not scratch golfers compared to the USGA rating. And the bogey rating, which is equivalent to the better half average of a bogey golfer's score. So the ratings generally involve distance as the primary number. So there are other numbers that are the width of a golf hole, the hazards that might be at a landing area, what kind of hazards there are around the greens, the actually pace of the greens, the speed of the greens, and that's why sometimes you'll find, especially, well, I should say in the Sun Belt, where people can play golf year round, there's still a seasonal window when the golf course is deemed to should be rated, because that's when most of the players play golf.
Play golf, yeah.
Makes sense. You're in Las Vegas. You're in Las Vegas. It's 120 degrees, and maybe you're not entertaining as many people as when you have a more temperate temperature, right?
True. And we went through that this summer. We were breaking records every single day, 118, 119, 120. And you're right, it could get, I happen to love the heat, but even for me, that's a little bit brutal. Before we take our next break in a minute, Jan, you hear and read articles about owners who want to build a golf course, trending nowadays, I think, to build them shorter because of the costs involved. Land is expensive, more personnel, more seed. Do you see that happening?
Yes, and actually there are some properties, some owners, developers who have existing golf courses. They might have 36, 27, 18 holes.
Yeah.
But they decide what they decide to do is really pretty smart. There's nothing that said you had to have 18 holes. The earliest golf courses were, if you look at St. Andrews, it was originally 22 holes. Prestwick was 12 holes. So it wasn't until till Old Tom Morris with Alan Robertson way back when, pre-1850, combined some of the greens at the old course of St. Andrews to turn it into 18.
Right.
That became the standard. So, but the 12-hole course is very popular now. 10 holes, 9 holes.
Yeah.
And if they're dealing with having an 18-hole property, what they may be doing is then saying, where can we create a better practice facility? Mm-hmm. Where can we entertain more people on a practice tee?
Right.
Where can we have a better short game area, a short loop for beginners, for youngsters? Right. So it's all in the land management.
Correct. Yeah, exactly right. All right, Jans, we're up against a hard break. Stay right there again. We're going to be back in a minute or two. More with Jan Beljan, and we're coming back right after this. The Revolutionary Power to Golf Club is helping golfers around the world continue to enjoy the greatest game of all. This amazing club requires no swing to hit shots from 50 up to 225 yards. That's right, no swing to hit shots, including fades, draws, low shots, as well as high ones. One incredible club does it all. Golfers with a wide variety of physical issues, including bad backs, hips, shoulders, and more, are now back in the game golfing with friends and family. Just set the club to the desired distance, and with a push of the button, the easy-to-use Power to Golf Club launches shots down the fairway and onto the green. The Power to Golf Club has been endorsed by some of the biggest names in golf, and the number of golfers enjoying the game by use of our unique technology continues to grow. Whether a physical issue or just want to join in on the fun, the Power to Golf Club is for you. Don't be left on the sidelines. Get back in the game today. Visit at powergolfclub.com.
As golfers, we want instant gratification when it comes to a better golf swing and playing better golf. Impossible, you say? Not anymore. Golf Boost Artificial Intelligence, AI, has developed and patented the most advanced swing analysis technology in golf. Simply, the algorithms detect your body position and then analyze your golf swing using their artificial intelligence technology. The AI captures all the relevant data from your swing video and then presents you a personalized lesson. Golf Boost AI is the ultimate swing analysis and virtual instruction system for golfers of all ages and abilities. This sophisticated software takes into consideration your height and build, playing level, and returns the ideal solution for your swing. Bottom line, Golf Boost AI is an incredibly convenient and cost-effective tool for golfers to improve their swing. Go to golfboost.com and check it out. The app is free to download and try. Visit golfboost.com today.
The revolutionary Power to Golf Club is helping golfers around the world continue to enjoy the greatest game of all. This amazing club requires no swing to hit shots from 50 up to 225 yards. That's right, no swing to hit shots, including fades, draws, low shots, as well as high ones. One incredible club does it all. Golfers with a wide variety of physical issues, including bad backs, hips, shoulders, and more, are now back in the game golfing with friends and family. Just set the club to the desired distance, and with a push of the button, the easy-to-use Power to Golf Club launches shots down the fairway and onto the green. The Power to Golf Club has been endorsed by some of the biggest names in golf, and the number of golfers enjoying the game by use of our unique technology continues to grow. Whether a physical issue or just want to join in on the fun, the Power to Golf Club is for you. Don't be left on the sidelines. Get back in the game today. Visit at powergolfclub.com. All right, we are back, everybody, and we're going to try to get that Grindworks club commercial in. We were supposed to have that instead of Power to Golf Club, but that's still two great products. We're back talking to our very special guest, Jan Bell. Jan, there are so many more questions I have for you. You are just going to have to come back and do another show with us. I know that we're going to be together at the PGA show coming up in mid-January in Orlando, and I'm looking very, very forward to that. You have something going on there one day. You are giving a talk to a special group that's near and dear to you. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's I was invited to present a proposal for a presentation for the PGA members at the PGA Merchandise Show, which, as you said, will be in Orlando in January. And what I proposed was a talk about how your golf course design can affect the everyday player. Mm-hmm. So what I intend to do is help the people who are there, the PGA professionals who are at their assorted clubs, understand that many of their golfers are playing. Help them understand the design of the golf course. When you understand the design of the golf course, and part of that has to do with when it was actually created. I cannot tell you the number of times I hear, well, golf course architects should do this and golf course architects should do that, when what they're really talking about is something that may have been done on a golf course 20 or 30 years or 40 or 50 years or 100 years earlier.
Yeah.
So to put that in the present tense is unfair to golf course architects in general, because most of the golf courses, if you think about the contemporary number of golf courses under construction, there are probably maybe 20 or 30, maybe new ones, but that is probably too many. But I would say that what we're really talking about now is a lot of renovations. So bringing golf courses from the 1980s, the 1990s, up to contemporary standards and wishes. So it's just interesting to me to if I can help the PGA professionals at their golf courses understand the era in which their golf courses were built, were designed and built, it can help them appreciate why the golf courses are the way they are, and remember courses that were done in the 80s, what kind of golf clubs were being used to play on those golf courses, what kind of golf balls.
Yeah. Well, right? Who puts the pressure on the owner of the golf course or the board of directors to change the damn thing? They've got probably a great golf course that was designed by some very well-known golf course designer. Why in the hell would you want to change that around?
Well, the biggest reason is one of the things I just mentioned, which is the changes in equipment, the playing equipment as well as the maintenance equipment. And it doesn't take very much for you to see the difference in maintenance. Just there's plenty of times on the Golf Channel where you'll see Shelf's Wonderful World of Golf. And granted, it's in black and white, but you can still see that the maintenance definition isn't what it is contemporarily on perhaps that same golf course.
Uh-huh.
Right. And so the maintenance equipment, the maintenance practices have a lot of impact, as well as the actual implements that we use to play the game today.
Yeah.
So the people who are doing the playing, so think of this: there were the late 80s and early 90s. There were a lot of golf courses in construction, and so how long ago was that? Let's just say 1990 from now. How long ago was that?
Okay.
Sounds like 35 years to me, right? So 35 years, that's a generation and a half. The people who joined those clubs when they may have been 50, they might be alive, they might not be, but they might be in their 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
So it's a different group of people playing golf today than then.
Oh,
And
totally.
the golf courses that were designed then were designed with the best players in mind at the time,
Right.
with their best equipment.
Right. Correct. Yeah. No, that's a very, very good point that you make. I got a text message in from one of our viewers, Jan, that wanted me to ask you what is usually done with the soil or the dirt that's removed when you're shaping a particular hole on a course.
Oh, it's not removed, it's shaped. it's moved from one place to the next. And again, that's where having an understanding of the raw land
Yeah.
and how you need to change it. So that does not happen indiscriminately in most cases, simply because there are permits to be had, and
Right.
the cities and state want to know what they're most concerned about is where's the water going to go.
Mm-hmm.
You must hold on your property the water that the rainwater that fell, and not let it move off your property any faster than it did before you changed what was raw land into whatever it is, whether it's a golf course or a big box store, a strip mall,
park or something.
Yeah. So the soil is moved to create some mounds. It's meant there to create. Look closely next time. I'll offer this to all of your listeners and viewers to see where the low spots are. The low spots are where you see the drains, right? And water's meant to go to those drains.
Right.
We'd like to have about a 2% movement across fairways. That means 2-foot grade change in 100 feet. All right, that's 2%.
Okay.
So that's at that pace, water can move well enough without puddling, unless something happens that creates the soil settled after the construction, or somebody drove through that area who knows how many times and made ruts, and then it changes the soil. So
Yeah.
the dirt doesn't get hauled away. It gets moved. It gets hauled maybe from this hole to the next hole to create the elevated tees, to create the bunkers, to create elevated greens, or to fill an area. If you have a hole that plays downhill and it plays downhill too severely, to modify that, then you might take that fill and put it in the low area where the green is and elevate the green.
Yeah.
So it's not as steep.
Right. Right. Okay. All right. Now I know you're actually at work. You're involved in a project right now, correct?
Oh yes.
Yeah. You're always involved in a project. And my gosh. I wanted to ask you, is your husband involved in the golf business?
He was a general manager of clubs, so he understands all of this
Okay.
from a pretty high level, because he's when he would include not just the golf course and its management and the golf staff at the golf shop and the outside staff, but it's everybody else. It's
Everybody
the,
else, yeah.
food and beverage, it's
Yeah.
security.
The whole deal.
It's everybody.
Yeah,
Yes.
the whole deal. No, good for him. Good for him. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. We're just about out of time. I want to thank you so much for taking time out, coming on the show. And like I said, we're going to have you back much sooner than later because I've got a hell of a lot more to ask you about, and you're the perfect guest to do that. And I'm looking forward to meeting you soon and getting together and playing some golf and spending some time with you at the PGA show. And again, I really appreciate your time, and I wish you, the best holiday season ever. And we'll be talking soon, Jan.
Excellent. Well, thank you again for the opportunity to talk with you and your listeners, and I appreciate all of this. So happy holidays to you and to all those who are paying attention.
Thank you. Thank you, Jan. We'll talk to you soon. All right, everybody. Jan Bell-Jan, just a wonderful lady, a great designer, and she knows her stuff. We're going to step away, take one last break, come back. We're going to finish the show. One of the perks about being in golf media is that I get to try every club ever made. Of course, like most things, some are better than others. I'm here to tell you that I have found unquestionably the absolute best performing set of irons I have ever played, and my scores show it. Let me introduce you to Grindworks, custom fitted irons that are made to fit your game. Grindworks offers players 3 different styles of irons. You can choose muscleback irons, cavity back irons, and even blades, along with some awesome wedges. And when you purchase your clubs, Grindworks lets you choose the type of shaft you want, the type grip you prefer, and even will adjust the loft and lie of your clubs if needed. That's unheard of. So what are you waiting for? Feel the power and experience and performance of these amazing clubs. Simply go to grindworksusa.com or call 281-651-4046 to order. Trust me, your handicap will love you for it.
Carter Bonus of Spectrum Golf not slowing down. His 3rd year at the PGA show, and the cameras are still following him. This time, Whistle Sports Media and Entertainment and Fox 35's morning show in Orlando, Florida. Carter, who is on the autism spectrum, has been Sports Illustrated Sports Kid of the Year, the Masters UPS Unstoppable CEO of the Year, all while securing a spot on the Stars of the Spectrum golf team created by former NFL quarterback Doug Flutie. Carter has been telling his incredible story about why he started his line of golf apparel around the globe, and his impact is making a difference.
I know that some stuff seems hard and that it's impossible, but one of my favorite quotes is, "It seems impossible until it's done." And over the past 3 years, I never thought I would get here and do all the stuff that I'm doing right now. Be Sports Illustrated Sports Kid of the Year for 2022. Be UPS's and the Masters Unstoppable CEO. Meet Steph Curry. Meet all of these good people. Meet Ernie Els, Alex Checa. Meet all, and be speaking in schools and in front of all of you good people. And everyone that I've spoken to before. I never thought I would do any of this. When I was little, I thought I would be nothing. But now I'm actually here, and I am successful, and I am happy, and I am thriving, and I'm saying if I can do it, you guys can do it.
Carter, who loves playing golf, designed his own logo and put it on the softest material he could find because he has a skin sensitivity. So it not only looks good, but feels good too. He offers hats, belts, shirts, pants, and more. For more information, go to carterspectrumgolf.com.
Hi, I'm Dennis Overs, host of the 19th Hole Podcast for Golfers, and I'm here to tell you about some great wedges and putters from Grindworks USA. First, the Grindworks Barrett Collection Wedge Set. These wedges are unparalleled in today's market. The wedges come to you in 3 different lofts, 51, 57, and 61 degrees, all designed to be able to spin around the greens with the ability to hit high, middle, or low shots around the greens. Grindworks also makes a line of their Windsor Wells precision machine putters. This beautiful design of putter was not only created to be appealing to the eye, but to perform better on the greens. You will gain a ton of confidence to help lower your scores. Go to grindworksusa.com or call 281-651-4046. I promise your scores will love you for it. All right, thank you very much to everybody tuning in today, watching the show. We certainly hope you enjoyed it. One of my favorite topics, and we had a great guest to talk about it. I only wish that we had more time with her, but like I say, we're gonna have her back next week. We've got another great show, another topic. I love talking about that, and that is the mental part of the golf game. And we have a gentleman who's local coming in that you're really going to enjoy also. So until then, we hope you're enjoying your holiday time and you still get a chance to get out and play some golf. And don't forget to put those new golf clubs on your Christmas list because Santa may surprise you. So until then, keep hitting the short stuff, fairways and green, everybody. And we'll see you back here next week. So long, everybody.